So guys, it's time for my official review on Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game number 3. I have already put hours into this game, and I figured it was actually time to give you guys the rundown on how I feel about the game itself. I'm gonna go over the good and the bad of the game. I'll talk about the whips, the track creator, multiplayer racing, the customization options, and more throughout this video. Now before I do go any further, I just want to mention no face cam in this video. You guys aren't going to get to see my ugly face. At the same time, I am going off of a script just because I am going to try and keep it short and sweet, hit you guys with my points, and I don't want to get babbling on about some random stuff. So let's get into the review of Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 3. So of course guys, the comment section is always open, so leave your opinion on the game down below, and let's kick off my review by talking about the good side of this game. I want to start off by saying that the simple things can actually go a long way when it comes to video games. The new menus are super clean and gave the game an entirely new, refreshing feel. The first two games had fairly similar menus, so it was actually nice to see that change. Supercross 3 did introduce some new cutscenes, which are actually pretty cool. When you load into a race, your rider actually walks out into the stadium for opening ceremonies, and there have been some new changes to the championship cutscenes and stuff when you do get to see those at the end of your career, at the end of your championship, or whatever it may be. The cutscenes obviously aren't game changing, but they are pretty cool, and I'm happy that Milestone went ahead and changed those up a little bit. Now moving on from there, of course, one feature the entire community seems to love is the fact that we can now sign to teams within the career mode. The career mode itself hasn't actually changed that much, but this is a pretty fun thing to throw into the mix when you can get out there and ride for an official Supercross team, and I know you guys love that. Now the main thing that I personally like about this game are the physics. When watching gameplay, the physics may not look the best. Trust me, when I was watching gameplay before I got my hands on the game, I was not sure how I felt about it. I was worried, I thought it didn't look good, but once you actually get some playtime in on the game, it starts to feel really good. Like, it's probably the best Supercross game yet. You get rewarded for hitting clean lines and riding smart, while your mistakes will actually cost you a ton of time. Especially if you make a lot of mistakes, you will be losing races left, right, and center. It definitely requires some patience and consistency to put in a solid race. Now, I have had some funky moments with the physics, I gotta say, throughout my career mode, and it has been frustrating, but not game breaking. It hasn't really been that big of a deal. The whips are cool, and in my opinion, they have definitely improved. I can now actually throw a whip without worrying about flying off the side of the track. I can keep it on track, keep it on course, so that is good. The free whips, they aren't perfect and they do need some work, but it is fun to have that freedom while you're in the air, and I think it is a step in the right direction. Now moving on from the physics to talk about something that I'm actually a big fan of, the compound. The compound itself is massive and has a ton of areas to explore. There are of course some hidden jumps and secret lines to hit, which makes exploring the area fun and semi-rewarding when you find a cool feature. The Supercross tracks within the compound are awesome, I absolutely love them, but I do think the motocross track is a failed attempt at something that could have actually been pretty fun. I like the idea and some of the features are pretty unique, but as one of you guys said, it is a snooze fest. Overall, the compound is cool, and the challenges within the game are a great way to put the compound tracks to use. The game has various challenges for you to complete: head-to-head challenges, flow aid challenges, scrub challenges, and each set of challenges consists of 10 levels. I actually uploaded a video on the head-to-head challenges yesterday, so go check that out for some gameplay. This is a new feature to the game, and I actually really like the idea of these challenges. I just wish the rewards were a little bit better, but I guess I can't complain, at least we get something. Now moving on to what I think is bad about the game, which honestly isn't much. Throughout my 250 West career mode playthrough, I have found multiple glitches within the game. I think the most known glitch is the Triple Crown results glitch. You can win a moto, but the game will score you for last place, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. It is frustrating when you win a race and end up not getting that result on the leaderboard, so hopefully Milestone puts out a fix for the Triple Crown results glitch ASAP. Now the AI also seem to get stuck on certain tracks in certain spots. They kind of get stuck in like a loop of riding off the track and respawning in the same spot, doing the same thing over and over again. Sometimes they even end up going backwards on the track, which has costed me in a race before. I got taken out by Adam Ciancerulo going backwards through the whoops. So hopefully we do see a fix for that as well. But other than the glitches, my only complaint is how easy my rider gives up on life when he runs into a tough block. I think the most frustrating part about hitting a tough block and going down is how inconsistent the crashes actually are. Sometimes you can bounce off of a tough block no problem going 5th gear wide open, and other times you're putting in 1st gear, you clip a tough block with your big toe, and well, your rider gives up on life. Considering that those are my only complaints, I'd say that's pretty good. When I sat down to make a list of the bad parts of the game, the parts that I didn't like, it actually was tough, and I realized that, hey, maybe this is actually a really good game. So I think that's what I'm going with. I approve of Supercross 3. Now, just to mention some of the features within the game and what they actually have to offer. The track editor, simply put, it's a revamped version of the Supercross 2 track editor. The new menus do give it a brand new feel while you're in there making a track. We have more sand obstacles, we have more stadiums to choose from, more start straightaway options, and overall it is a pretty solid track editor this year, and I do dig those new menus. For the customization, not much has actually changed, and the setup for it is pretty similar to the previous Supercross games. You can hop in and customize your rider's appearance. You can customize everything from his height to his face tattoos. There is a ton of gear to choose from, some new sets as well as a lot of gear that we have seen before, which I'm actually okay with. Bell helmets are now in the game, so that's pretty sweet, and I've always wondered why they haven't been in the previous games, so I am pumped on that. And of course, as players, we now have access to a ton of presets. 10 for 250s and 10 for 450s, where you can actually save a bike and a rider setup for each, so that's pretty sweet. We did have presets in previous games, but this time around they've improved and we get more preset slots, so I can't complain about that. I love having more preset slots and I hate going in and editing setups, so I love that. And also there are the official team presets that you can unlock, so you can go and ride on your favorite team whenever and wherever if you do want to do that. Now, one thing about customization, I do think the name and number on the back of the rider's jersey could use some work, as well as the numbers on the bike. Like, I feel like it's a pretty restricted customization option, and on certain graphic kits, it's actually hard to make the numbers even look good. It's hard to get the positioning right, it's hard to get the sizing right, the font doesn't look right, whatever it may be. It just doesn't work sometimes. Now, the graphic kits themselves, there are a ton of options and they're all pretty cool. They all have their unique style, but I would love to see, listen to this guys, a custom graphic editor for all of us to hop in and use, create our own graphic kits. Now that would be sweet. Now for you multiplayer guys out there, multiplayer racing has improved and it does feel better when you're playing against other people in online lobbies, but there still are some funny lag-filled moments, so it's not perfect. The mics still glitch and constantly say people are talking when they aren't, which is something I have noticed in the previous games as well, so I just kind of wonder when they might actually fix that, if they ever will. You can actually play multiplayer on the compound with your buddies, so you can get a group of friends and attack the tracks and explore, so that's pretty cool. Moving on from there, the director mode is a cool feature, but I'm not actually sure how useful it is for the average player. For content creators and the event hosts, I'd say it's actually one of the best additions to the game, and I look forward to putting that to use. At the end of the day, the game is pretty comparable to the previous Supercross games. The physics are definitely better, and it feels amazing actually being rewarded for hitting clean lines. As I said, mistakes will cost you, so riding smooth and smart is key, and when you get into the flow, it actually feels really good, and that's when you'll start to to actually appreciate the physics of this game. The AI could still be harder on realistic difficulty, or they could introduce a new difficulty that is truly hard to beat. After putting some solid playtime into the game, I've already started doing 20-second head starts, which I shouldn't have to do to keep the game competitive. I just feel like that's something I shouldn't have to do just to be battling and maybe not win every single race. The 250 class is without a doubt harder than the 450 class, and I think that's just due to how easy the lines are to hit on a 450. You have all of that power and it makes the lines and the rhythms really easy to get through. The 250s do require more timing and you have to be nearly perfect in order to nail your rhythms, so I would say that the 250s are definitely harder than the 450s in this game. I do like the direction that the Supercross games are headed in, and I can honestly say that this is my favorite game within the series, if not my favorite MX game since Reflex, so I think that says something. It's not perfect, but it is easily one foot in the right direction, and that kind of gives me high hopes for the future of these games. I do think that the game is worth the money, and I'd love to see the online community for moto games grow even bigger, and I think this game might be able to make that happen. So overall, the game gets 2 thumbs up from me. That's it for my review, guys. It was a mouthful. I will catch you guys all later. Peace out.